Audi has had a rough time with their naming strategy in the past year, with the legendary Audi A4 becoming the A5 to make way for the A4 e-tron, which has yet to be announced. Now, as a last-minute decision, Audi decided to go back on this plan and continue calling everything by what it originally was. This means that you can have an electric Audi A6 e-tron or this, the regular A6, which looks nothing like the A6 e-tron and is under a completely different platform. Can Audi pull this trick off now? Well, let's find out. Welcome to Everything Cars and More. So, starting with the design of the new A6, and it hasn't, what I would say, grown up much. You see, the older model did always look business-like, and that was when it rivaled the BMW 5 Series and Mercedes E-Class. But with this new one, it has the looks of the previous generation Audi A4 and the new Audi A3 front end. Now, this is no bad thing, but I'm not sure it suits this class of car, to be honest with you. You see, we get this huge grille that now dominates the front end of the car, which I will admit does look a bit too big. But you do know it is an Audi. Next to this are some huge and tall side vents, just like what the new A5 has, and to be honest, all the other new Audis these days. We do get some sporty looking headlights now, where you can change the graphic in them, again, just like any other Audi. But the whole front end doesn't really stand out like it should do. And when it does stand out, it is probably because it's not for any good reason. I have to admit now, I do think the A5 does it a lot better. Move around to the side and we get a very interesting design. To start with, the greenhouse glass stretches all the way back into the far corners of the roof, making the car look longer and sleeker than it actually is. We also get these huge haunches over the front and rear wheels to give it a wider look. I can't wait to see what the RS6 looks like. We do get some creases lower down though, and some hidden door handles, which I do quite like. I also quite like that there is black elements on them too, so you can still know where they are. Wheel designs are decent, with the usual Audi designs now. Move around to the back of the new A6, and it seems that everyone is on the same design trend at the moment. Now, when you think of a modern saloon or a saloon-style hatchback, or even a coupe for that matter, you expect a rear boot spoiler, but just like the BMW 5 Series, it doesn't. Now, I'm not sure it looks the best, but it is starting to grow on me slightly. We do get some sleek looking taillights now with this light bar lower down, and we also get this blade design, which I do quite like. Now, I do wish that this coloured bar though was either black or chrome, depending on what model you have, as it just makes the taillights look a bit silly being separated. The bumper design is very good now, and it does draw a lot of attention to it. We also get real exhausts again, which is great. I just wish there was a little spoiler up top. The A6 Avant does wear this design much better because of the shooting brake rear design it has. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below, and whilst you are at it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Right then, let's have a look to see what engine and gearbox options you can have with the new Audi A6. So, the Audi A6 has 3 engine options to choose from: a petrol, a diesel and a petrol plug-in hybrid. Let's start with the petrol model first. This uses a 2-litre turbo unit with 198 brake horsepower. This can do 0 to 62 within 8.2 seconds, which isn't too bad, and this is mated to a 7-speed S-tronic automatic gearbox, and this powers the front wheels, which is quite rare these days. The diesel version again uses a 2-litre turbo unit with the same 198 brake horsepower, but this time the 0 to 62 time has been reduced down to 6.9 seconds thanks to it being a diesel, but also because it uses the Quattro 4-wheel drive system, with the power going through a 7-speed S-tronic automatic gearbox. The final version is the one we have on test today, and this uses the e-hybrid plug-in hybrid system. This uses a 2-litre turbo petrol unit and an electric motor, making a combined power output of 295 brake horsepower. 0 to 62 is dealt within 6 seconds, which isn't too bad either. The battery size is 21 kilowatt hours usable, which means you get about 60 miles of driving on electric only, which is about the industry standard at the moment. Power is sent through a 7-speed S-tronic automatic gearbox to all 4 wheels using a Quattro 4-wheel drive system, and it also has good charging speeds too for a hybrid at 40 kilowatts. The price of the new Audi A6 starts at £52,785. Right then, let's have a look to see what the interior is like. So, moving inside the new Audi A6, and whilst we do get a very modern looking design that we have seen on other Audis, I do have to say I am not a fan of it. To start with, we get this new 14.5 inch infotainment system which is angled towards the driver on this panel. Now, it is fairly easy to use, but the climate controls are on the screen, which is a shame. The only upside note is that for the 2026 model year, Audi has updated its infotainment system to make it a lot easier to use, which is good. On this panel, we also get a digital instrument cluster, which again isn't as customisable as the older Audis, but again this has changed for the 2026 update. What has also changed is the steering wheel. Whilst we still do get touch-sensitive buttons, which I'm not a fan of, Audi has added some physical functionality back to it. It's a start basically. One good thing though is that we do get some proper indicator stalks, which is quite nice. On the driver's door we do get some more touch-sensitive controls for your lights and mirrors, but they are fairly easy to use, and once they are set up you shouldn't need to touch it again. In the centre console we get a lot of piano black materials as well as some buttons and your gear selector toggle and even some storage. The seats are new and taken straight from the A5, which means they are supportive but comfy and also look the part too, which I like. What I'm not so sure about though is the passenger screen. Now I would recommend speccing this option, as otherwise you are left with a piano black panel making the interior look like a poverty spec car, which on this type of car you really don't want. There are other manufacturers that have done this properly, like the Smart Hashtag 5 for example, but unfortunately Audi hasn't figured that out yet. Anyway, with that small rant over with, let's have a look to see what the back seats are like. So, climbing to the back of the A6, and considering it has a sloping roof, headroom isn't too bad, and we also get a very good amount of leg room too. Now, there is a huge hump in the floor, which means sitting 3 people in the back won't be easy, but there are quite a few creature comforts like your own dual zone climate control system, heated rear seats, air vents, USB-C ports and an armrest. It does feel quite executive in the back, although I do think BMW does it better, as the quality of Audi has just slipped slightly in this generation of cars. Right, let's have a look to see what the boot space is like. So, open the boot to the new A6 and we get a few size differences. If you go for a front wheel drive model of car, then you get 492 litres of space, which isn't class leading, but it isn't bad. If you have a Quattro 4-wheel drive model, then this does decrease to 452 litres, but it gets even worse if you have this model, which is the e-hybrid model. With this you only get 354 litres because the batteries are stored underneath the boot. Really, you would be better going for an Audi A3 or Golf hybrid, which is more practical with its hatchback style opening, and you also get the same amount of space, maybe a bit more. We don't have the amount with the seats down yet, but we can still say it isn't bad but still not class leading. But the seats do fold down 40-20-40 split, which is nice. So in summary then, what do I think of the new Audi A6? Well, the A6 has always been a bit of an unknown car, especially in its last generation. This is because it was overshadowed by the 5 Series and E-Class. To me, for this generation of cars, it feels that the E-Class is starting to be the one that's overshadowed, but the A6 still isn't that far behind. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a brilliant car, but there are quite a few areas that do need improving in terms of practicality, but mainly with also its design and build quality inside. Now, it may age quite well, but it hasn't got that sporty feel that some other Audis have, And that's where I think Audi has missed a big trick with this car. Now, I know they can do it because they've got a good recipe with such great cars like its electric counterpart, but to me it just seems like they haven't wanted to bother with this car to make a great one, and this is so they force people to the electric version, therefore reducing the budget on the petrol one. Not everyone wants an electric car yet. So, if you are in the market and are looking for an Audi A6, then I would advise to see what one you actually want. And if you want space, avoid the plug-in hybrid model. So, what do you think of this car then? Leave a comment below, and whilst you're at it, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to Everything Cars and More. I'll see you in the next video.